inside Dewsbury Hall. This is a chance for Leicester. Vardy lets it run, but Fatawi's there at the back post. And with 3.5 minutes on the clock, it's the first Leicester chance and the first Leicester City goal. Bassett looking to play one in behind towards Dewsbury Hall. It's a fantastic first-time ball for Jamie Vardy, and that is stunning from Leicester City.
Hello and welcome to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub as Leicester City are looking to make it 6 straight wins in all competitions this afternoon as they host Middlesbrough here at King Power Stadium. Of course, opponents that have beaten them earlier on in the season. The Foxes have only lost to 3 teams in the league this season. Middlesbrough, one of them, so it will be a tough test, of course. Before we introduce our guests this afternoon, let's get all of today's team news. Enzo Maresca has decided to make just the one change to the side that beat Sheffield Wednesday in midweek, and that is up top. Patson Daka returns to the starting 11. Jamie Vardy dropping to the bench. It's Hermansen in goal, Justin Vestergaard, Fass and Ricardo across the back four, Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Pratt in midfield, with Mavididi and Fatawu either side of that man Patson Daka, who of course has been in red hot form in this last couple of months. On the bench it's Stolarczyk, Cody, Doyle, Vardy, Albrighton, Chowdhury, Cannon, McAteer and Yunus. Middlesbrough, meanwhile, are looking to bounce back from defeat at Preston in midweek. It's been a strange old season for Michael Carrick and his side. He makes 5 changes to that team that lost in midweek. One of those being at left back, as Luke Thomas is ineligible, of course, against his parent club. A lot of those changes have come in the midfield area. They really are struggling with injuries. We'll get to that a little bit later on during Matchday Live. This is their 11 then. It's Glover, Engel, Clark, Vandenberg and Ayling. Barlasser and McNair in midfield with Azaz, O'Brien and McGree either side, or behind rather. Silvera up top. They've been really struggling, particularly for strikers this season with injuries, which is something that David Nugent knows a lot about, being a striker, of course, for both Leicester City and Middlesbrough. Wasn't going to mention any injuries there.
No, never had any.
Yeah.
Forgot about.
Already been on a run as well this morning, haven't you? So you're still as fit as ever.
Mate. Get me out there.
Welcome to David Nugent and to Jerry Taggart. Jerry, you haven't been on a run this morning, I don't think.
I haven't. I went for a swim yesterday, though, morning.
That counts.
And that's my weekend's exercise done. Although I might take the dog out tomorrow and have a gentle walk to the local
weekend
pub.
or weeks.
And yes, you get against two of your former sides this afternoon. Always a little bit of added spice for you?
No, not really. Obviously, I left Leicester to go to Middlesbrough when I didn't want to really leave Leicester. But things happen in football when you have to move on. And no, I enjoyed myself there. We got promoted in the first season I was there. Didn't really get a chance to play in the Premier League under Karanka, but it happens, doesn't it?
Mm. Yeah, you're wanting a Leicester win then?
Oh, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Leicester, we want a Leicester win.
We'll hear more from David Nugent and Jerry Taggart throughout the hour. We've got Matt Elliott on co-commentary as well. We'll speak to him, as well as looking back, of course, at that victory over Sheffield Wednesday in midweek. Jamie Vardy on the score sheet against his boyhood club. We'll hear a couple of times, actually, from Enzo Maresca, and also find out about a link between Maresca and Middlesbrough as well. We'll also take a closer look at today's opponents who, as we've said, have got a number of injury issues in a season where they've sometimes done really well, sometimes struggled. One of those times that they actually did well, Jerry, was up at the Riverside. You were there, of course, for that. So Leicester know all about how dangerous Middlesbrough can be.
Yeah, obviously it was a set piece, free kick. From Greenwood, who's on the bench today, ironically. I thought on that day Leicester were a better team, just couldn't put the ball in the net that day. And obviously Greenwood will have a spectacular free kick, done the damage for Middlesbrough today. But I think you mentioned their team, or their squad, and the players that are missing. I think again today, as far as Leicester are concerned, it's just to just keep on moving down the line, keep that train chugging on down the line. Be professional. Middlesbrough will probably try and make it really difficult for Leicester because of the lack of quality they've got at the moment. And so for Leicester, it's just about following the process and making sure they get the job done.
Yeah, you can't get complacent, even though they are, missing players. Middlesbrough, the whole midfield basically is out injured. So Leicester still have to be on the game. They're professional enough to go into every game, with the right balance, and we know which way they're going to play. It's just about executing it on the pitch and putting Middlesbrough to the sword as quick as possible.
We looked at the team sheet before. We get it at roughly 15 minutes before we come on air, didn't we? And you said straight away, where are the strikers for Middlesbrough? And you can't help almost but feel sorry for them. The amount of injuries they've had across the pitch this season, particularly notably up top.
Yeah, well, they got 2 strikers on the bench, but obviously both not playing. Greenwood, I say Greenwood was more of a 10 than a 9, but I think it's 4s on the bench who come from Brentford. He's not an out striker, and he can't get a game. And when he does play, he seems to get drifted out onto the wing. So yeah, they got players on the bench who were more attacker minded, but maybe Michael Carrick's looking at this game thinking it's going to be backs against the walls, and he needs to get as many midfielders in there as possible to to try and keep the score down. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think just on the back of what David said, you look at the game the other night and the professional job that Leicester done. A potential banana skin against Sheffield Wednesday, and he probably sees that. He's probably seeing this game as, can we stay in the game? Leicester, not surprisingly, but scoring 2 goals earlier on it, 2 early goals, should have said, in that game against Sheffield Wednesday, which is not something we're used to seeing that often this season. And so he's probably thinking, can we stay in the game for as long as possible? Keep it at 0-0 for as long as possible and frustrate Leicester City, frustrate the fans, and hopefully that will some way play in our favour. But we all know that Leicester go deep, they go for long periods, and then they hit you. So, that's why I think they've just got to stick to the process, stay positive, and be professional.
When you look, of course, at Leicester's midfield, we've been speaking about Middlesbrough's very much changed midfield. They're coming up against what has to be one of the best midfields in the division, of course. You can include Ricardo in there, the likes of Winks, Dewsbury Hall, that'd be Pratt in there today. But let's concentrate on Harry Winks for now, because we'll hear from Enzo Maresca speaking about the number 8 in just a moment. He's been an absolute revelation this season.
Yeah, he's been sensational, breaking records. I think I've seen one, the first player to reach 2,500 passes in the Championship this season. And ridiculous, because he's the cog in the midfield. He gets everything started. He receives the ball off the defenders, the fullbacks, everyone on the pitch. Whoever's got the ball, Harry Winks is always free to receive it, and he's been sensational. I think I've seen an interview today where the manager comes behind him. I think Owen's given the interview, and he says about this player, none of this happened. So Enzo sees him as a vital player for this team, and he's proven it on the pitch week in, week out.
Yeah, let's hear from Enzo Maresca then. He was speaking during his pre-match press conference about the Foxes midfielder.
No, because it's for Harry, and I said many times, for me, in the way we want to play, the 3 players and the 2, when we build with 3 and 2, these 5 players allow you to play good. Then the other 5 allow you to win games. Wingers, attacking midfielder, and 9. So the guy that every game they are doing 3 and 2, and Harry has been there every game, allow us to play well. So if they work well, if they work well, probably the team is going to play well. If some of them or all of them or they are not in a good day or they struggle, it's difficult. So Harry, since we start, has been always there, and this is the reason why for him and some more players, without them was impossible.
That was Enzo Maresca there, speaking about the Leicester midfield, in particular Harry Winks. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But I did a little teaser at the very top of the show about Enzo Maresca having happy memories against Middlesbrough. Have you had a little think, either of you two, about what that might be? I'm
guessing something to do with the UEFA Cup when Middlesbrough got through to the final. Did he play against them?
He did. He was man of the match in the final for Sevilla. Scored 2 goals.
That's not Enzo.
And there he is.
Wait, what's that on his head?
Yeah, he's certainly changed his hairstyle, hasn't he, since then? But yeah, two goals, a man of the match performance from midfield from Enzo Maresca, Jerry, against today's opponents. Middlesbrough, he knows a thing or two, clearly, about playing in midfield, which is probably why he likes it so much at the moment, with the balance that Leicester have got in there.
Yeah, I think it's vitally important for the way he wants to play. And, you know, you're speaking about Harry Winks. He is pivotal. He's key. He was obviously his #1 target when he came in the summer, and he got his man. And he's, you know, it's been proven to be a master stroke for a player to, all intensive purposes, he applies his trade at the very top level to come to a championship side, albeit Leicester City. I mean, it's a bit of a master stroke, and you know, he's just been a revelation, Harry Winks, this season.
Yeah, and you think like other teams watching Leicester the way they played, you think you just put like a person on Harry Winks, wouldn't you, to stop him from playing? But if that does happen, then you get Ricardo going in there.
Yeah.
He's just as good on the ball to cause problems. But you know, if it's not Harry, it's Ricardo, and if it's not Ricardo, it's Harry the other way around. So they've not only got Harry to worry about. If someone else comes in there, they've got multiple options to choose from who goes in there.
I think that, again, the way he sets the team up to play this style of football, it just suits so many players. We could wax lyrical about umpteen players in this team this season, the way they've played. But I think, you know, listening to Enzo, the way he wants to start his team off on the front foot, the majority of the time, it all starts with Harry Winks. You know?
You've seen it as well. If it doesn't go right and he loses the ball, he doesn't stop going to the ball to receive it, does he? He keeps on asking for it.
Yeah.
Like, he never stops. Gives it away 4 times, to go to the 5th and try it again till it comes off. And he's got the ability to turn on the half turn as well if he doesn't want to bounce it to one of the other defenders or the fullbacks and start the counter attack himself.
Yeah, and one of the fascinating things, Jerry, we had Mark Albrighton the other evening for the Sheffield Wednesday game. He's coming for your job.
Jeez, mate.
Maybe soon.
No chance.
He actually said about Enzo in the summer, basically already had the idea when he came in that Ricardo was the man he wanted for that role, which says a lot about Enzo himself, doesn't it? And the fact that he knew, not many people probably will have known that Ricardo could do that role so well, and even Wilfred Ndidi in that forward role.
Exactly. You know, so he's, you know, in football, you pigeonhole certain players. Wilfred Ndidi was definitely one of those players. Okay, I can see Ricardo. Ricardo definitely had the technical ability to step inside, but obviously we're used to seeing him running up and down the wing, making challenges out wide. So for Enzo then to see that, or to have the courage, let's call it, because it's not an easy decision. Just go, okay, you're a right back, but I'm going to throw you into centre midfield. That's a big decision to make. The same with Wilfred Ndidi. All right, you've played holding midfield all your career. Now you're going to become an attacking midfielder, number 8, as they call it now. Those are big decisions by managers to make. But, you know, he's been proven right. You know, it's been a revelation. It really has.
It's different how like different managers perceive different players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like no one ever thought Wilfred being number 8 running into the box, you know, scoring goals. But you see people see different things in training, and obviously Enzo's seen that in Wilf getting forward.
And you know,
he's got the energy as well, hasn't he?
Yeah,
the
he's got
and
the
power.
legs. Yeah,
he's got everything to be that number 8.
And then you talk about other players, Yannick Vestergaard. He's again a revelation. He's like the quarterback in the team. You know, when he gets on the ball, he's got great feet. Some of his passing is exceptional. So yeah, you know, listen, you take your hat off to him. And exactly right. It's how different managers perceive different players in the squad and how to get the best out of them. And he's definitely done that. He's got the best out of so many players this season. It's unreal.
Yeah, he absolutely got the best out of everyone, of course, during the week as well. That victory over Sheffield Wednesday made it 5 wins in a row in all competitions.
And in the centre is Will Volks. Back to the centre half again. Beadle looks to play it out short, and he's put Volks under pressure. Picked up by Dewsbury Hall. This is a chance for Leicester. Vardy lets it run, but Fatahu's there at the back post. And with 3.5 minutes on the clock, it's the first Leicester chance and the first Leicester City goal. 1-0 to the Foxes. Vestergaard was able to pick up the pieces. Pratt now for Fass. Fass is looking to play one in behind towards Dewsbury Hall. It's a fantastic first-time ball for Jamie Vardy. And that is stunning from Leicester City. Back to front. A fantastic ball in behind. An incredible touch from Dewsbury Hall. Sent it on out wide towards Gassama, edge of the area, goes for goal, comes off Ricardo, it's going to break again for the shot, and it's a big save from Hermansen right before half time, diving down to his left hand side, and a strong palm away from the goalkeeper. This is Harry Winks. Ricardo flicks it on first time, perhaps onside here for Leicester, slides it across towards Vardy, and it's just too far ahead of him. Mavididi can't keep it in play either. But a really good move that from Leicester, who are starting to turn it on again. And now there could be a breakaway for Sheffield Wednesday, as there's the shots. And was it a touch in there from Hermansen? There was, says the referee, an important save from the number 30. It was Masaba with the effort, and that's why, despite the attack, the referee does bring proceedings to an end.
A happy Enzo Maresca at full time, a happy Leicester City, a happy King Power Stadium, as well as it has been so many times this season. You were on co-commentary for us, weren't you, for that game? They were comfortable, weren't they, throughout the 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think, the first half especially, I think some of the football, you've seen the 2 goals. Second goal, exquisite again, some of the football. And the first goal even was, again, straight off a training ground, winning the ball high up the pitch and capitalising on a bit of kamikaze football from Sheffield Wednesday's keeper. But you've got to be ready to do that, and Leicester were. And then it's all about, again, I think I said it the other night, this league is just a slog at the best of times. Seriously, even when you're however many points clear at the top, and the pressure is always on you to keep those levels. And it's, don't get me wrong, it's better than the pressure of being at the bottom like Sheffield Wednesday, but you cannot go for 90 odd minutes every game, top level football. It's just impossible.
I mean, you two know that. You've won this division. Both.
Correct. It's just impossible. But what you do is, you when you get your noses in front, you see games out. It's as simple as that. Even if you play bad, or you don't play as well as you expect yourself to play, you see games out. You get yourself in front, you go, okay, thanks very much. Lock up shop. Good night, God bless. And you move on. And that's what you got to do in this league. You might play well 10, 15 times where you think, yeah, we were magnificent today. The rest of it, it's just a full-out slog, and you just get over the line, week on week, game on game, and move on to the next one.
He says the 2 early goals does help as well, going 2-0 up. You can be conservative in the game. You're saying 2-0 up, we shut up shop, we play our football, tire the team out, we haven't got to make long busting runs to try and score another goal. You can save your energy for the next game because there's so many games that come thick and fast. So, and again, it's
managing the game correctly. And in fairness, Leicester still had chances to go further in front. Okay, Sheffield Wednesday slightly changed their tactics in the second half. Pushed higher up the pitch, made a few substitutions, brought legs on. And Sheffield Wednesday are a team of high energy, young lads that have high energy, and that's exactly what Roll tried to utilise the other night. But it just didn't work because Leicester were just too good.
Jamie Vardy more than most. I think it's fair to say. Nuge, don't you? We've seen the first goal and the replays of it. At first, there was question marks. Does Jamie Vardy dummy this to let Fatawu in to knock it in as he tried to flick it? It's most likely the second of those 2 options, we think.
Yeah, no, he's in the right position. They win the back up high, don't leave the ball, and falls to Dewsbury Hall, who plays the cut back, and Vars will have a tap in if he swings his leg, but it looks like he's dummied it as well, doesn't it? He give him the benefit of the doubt. He knew Fatawu was behind him there, and it was easy tapping in the end. But it's the second goal in it where he comes to light, and he conserves his energy now. He doesn't run around like a headless chicken closing people down. He waits for the ball in the right areas now and to run onto, and he picks his moments. And from that ball over the top to Dewsbury Hall for a one-touch layoff, and that's Vard running onto a ball, one-touch finish. It's vintage Vard into the bottom corner, and obviously I wasn't at the game, but Jerry, you said he was sharp as anything when he back to his normal self.
He was sensational on Tuesday night. 37-year-old. I won't tell you what I was doing when I was 37, but I wasn't running around like he was running around on Tuesday night. I mean, he was just sensational. He could have easily had a brace, possibility of a hat-trick the other night, but his energy levels were sublime. I mean, off the scale for someone of his age. Deserved his goal, probably deserved another one. Dennis Pratt just a little bit too much on the cross, but he was in there ready to poke that ball home. It's just unfortunate that, you know, Dennis Pratt just overplayed it slightly, but 81 minutes did he play the other night as well?
Will deserve rest now.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
sensational. I mean, you can't over-egg what I'm saying. It's just remarkable.
Yeah, again, knowing him, will he be frustrated that he isn't playing today?
I would be frustrated if I was playing to score against Sheffield and coming off the next game and you're not in the starting lineup. But the game's changing now so much since I played them. It's changed a lot since back in the day where it was just 4-4-2. You played every single game no matter what. Now it's like, look at the strikers: Kelechi, Patson Daka, Tom Cannon, Jamie
Vardy. On
Vardy.
his face though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's still smiling, but
they obviously have conversations.
Yeah,
between the manager about how he's going to utilise the quality that they've got up top. You know, all right, coach. So Harry Winks, Dewsbury Hall, Vestergaard, Hermanson, Fass, because they play every week if they're fit, and then the strikers get rotated. So he must have conversations with those players and saying, "Listen, lads, you know, you're going to get us to the promised land, and I have to use all of you at different times." And it's and I know you want to play, but you can't. Not every game because of this, that, and the other.
Well, Patson Daka particularly will be pleased. He's back in and he's looked really good, hasn't he, in 2024?
Yeah, he looks sharp as ever. You know, he's coming back from the AFCON as well, straight back into the team. You know, leading the line, and you know he's got that blistering pace which scares defenders. And you know, Enzo says he picks his team of who he's playing against, what defenders he's playing against, and you know, you stay out the four. Patson's probably the quickest, so he thinks there's a threat in behind against Middlesbrough. And why not use your quickest player to do that? And Patson, because he's been, every time he's played, he's been on fire. Quality against Stoke. You know, you see his work rate is ever so good as well, and you know, and he'll be gutted that he didn't play against Sheffield, but now he's got a chance to prove against Middlesbrough.
What was it, a week ago, wasn't it, the Watford game away? He was on the score sheet again in that one score sheet, and we know against Stoke, as News has just been referencing there, he's a man in form as well.
Absolutely, and again, I've spoke about it before, the change in the way he plays from when he first came into the club. And that's obviously down to Enzo, and obviously at the beginning of the season he was nowhere near it. I mean, the squad, I don't know what he was like in training or what his attitude. I would say it'd still be top drawer. But you can see the way he's playing, the way Enzo wants him to. He's closing down off the ball, the pressure he puts on people. And now, when he's receiving the ball, can he link the play up? He had an assist. Did he have 2 assists? Was it
the Swansea game?
The Swansea
including
game.
The penalty.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, if you class that as an assist, he gained the penalty. He set Dewsbury Hall up for his goal, and he's banging goals in as well. So what more do you want? And off the ball, he's improved a lot. The way he's closing down, and the way he's helping the team out when they're not in possession.
Said it all, Annie. You know, he's exciting to watch as well.
Yeah.
You know, everyone who's got blistering pace, you know, is exciting to watch that running behind. And you know, I think the strikers at this club, it's very Erling Haaland-esque, where they don't get involved in any of the build-up play. Only if people playing man for man, they come to light when the wingers get the ball. They get into the box and look for that little tap-in that they want every week in, week out. And you know, that's why the strikers look so sharp every time they get the ball, because they don't get involved in anything else but in the 18-yard box.
And that's where his game's changed as well, where it was more play on the shoulder, the last defender, look for a ball in behind. Now he's in the box, tap-ins, 5-6 yards out, but he's in the right place at the right time.
Just seeing the players obviously warming up at the moment for this game today. And do you think there will be some form of a little bit of revenge in there, wanting to, you know, they're one of only 3 teams that have beaten them all season. We've played over 30 games.
Hard to say in this one. Definitely the other night against Sheffield Wednesday, because they didn't play that well at Sheffield Wednesday. They took the lead, surrendered that lead, but in fairness, could have been 2 down. You know, before they scored the first goal. I think it was Fatawi scored the first goal that night. So then you're trying to right or wrong. You make sure we do not play like we played up at Hillsborough against Sheffield Wednesday. Whereas today, I was even though they got beat against Middlesbrough, they played well. They had umpteen opportunities to score. and just couldn't put.
Kelechi had a few chances.
Kelechi had a couple. Just could not convert those chances. So I think today is just about maximise the opportunities that comes your way. So if I'm Dave Nugent, remember I missed 2 sitters up there. I can't miss today if it comes my way. So that's where the revenge sort of aspect, but that's more of an individual thing rather than a collective thing.
You never missed sitters though, did you?
What are you on about? Put everyone away.
It definitely stick in your mind though as a forward.
No, it definitely does, especially if you lose the game as well.
Yeah.
If you miss a couple of chances and you still win the game, it's out the window.
Yeah.
But if you miss a couple of big chances to go 1-0 up and then the other team go down and score, plays on your mind a little bit.
As ever, this game is available for you on Fox's Hub, whether that is to watch it or to listen to it. For all the details on that, all you need to do is head on to Fox's Hub. There are game passes that are available in certain territories to watch the game with us. Elsewhere, you can listen in those territories where you can't watch, particularly here in the UK. Unfortunately, this afternoon, you can listen to it instead. There are Listen Live monthly passes that are available to head on to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. That'll give you all the information that you need. Right, speaking of home games against oppositions that sometimes maybe sit back against you, particularly like Sheffield Wednesday in the week. Enzo Maresca, during his press conference, was asked how impressed he's been with his home form, considering that's what the opposition do often when they come here.
Yeah, we said probably in the last press conference that in terms of home and away, we are quite balanced. And this is good for any team, any club, for sure. When you win at home in your stadium with your people, it's always a good feeling. But in this moment, doesn't matter if we win at home or away. It's important to win games.
How important, though, is it, do you think, to make King Power Stadium a bit of a fortress again after last season in the relegation?
Yeah, it's very important. It was one of the main things to do for us because even for the players that they were here last year, you know, when you play at home with your fans and the mind is still about last year, so it's not good, but win many games is important.
There's going to be a big full stand tifo in the COP tomorrow afternoon as well. It feels like it's going to be another moment for ahead of a big game as we get towards the end of the season for the fans, the players, and for you and your staff to really come together again.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we can give them 3 points that from now on, every time that we get 3 points, it's one step close to our final target. So hopefully we can have a good day tomorrow.
Middlesbrough are one of only a few select sides that have beaten you so far this season. What are you expecting from them on Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. My feeling is that we need to be in our top. Otherwise, we're going to struggle because they are a very good team, a very good manager. Last year, they did fantastic. This year, they struggle a little bit more also because they changed some players. But overall, very good team. And, after the other day defeat, their manager said that probably was a lack of ambitious. And it's always, the game after, it's always a tricky one because the player probably they want to show the ambitious. So we need to be in our top.
How do you guard against that if they're really going to try and go for it, if the players have got a point to prove from a Middlesbrough perspective?
No, it's just, as we said many times, this is the reason why we can drop nothing in terms of humility, in terms of be humble, work hard. It's for this.
What did you learn, I guess, from the game against Middlesbrough last time out at Riverside Stadium that will help you tomorrow?
I said many times, at the end, most of the time we analyze the final results, that sometimes you win a game and you think that everything was okay, probably you didn't deserve. In that game, probably we analyzed the final result, that was no good, but for me the performance was probably one of our best performance of the season.
You have just 2 injuries really in your squad ahead of the game this weekend. To have most of your players available at this stage of the season when you're getting into a real busy time, that must be a really good thing to have as a manager.
Yeah, absolutely. The good thing is that you can choose. The difficult thing is that some of them, they're going to be out of the first 11 and out of the squad. That is always no good thing to do as a manager. In the same time, it's not good for them to accept that. but it's what it is.
That was Enzo Maresca speaking in his press conference ahead of this game with Middlesbrough this weekend, of course, at King Power Stadium today as part of a double header for Leicester City Football Club at home this weekend, because you'll notice Jerry Taggart has changed somewhat during that Enzo Maresca VT. That's because we've got Sophie Howard in, LCFC women defender. Friend of the show, you've been on here a number of times now. You're used to all of this now. Welcome along. Big game tomorrow, of course, Bristol City here at King Power Stadium. Always exciting to play here, I'm sure.
Definitely a big game, yes. And as you said, very exciting for us to be back. We've been away for a couple of games, haven't we? So we're excited to be back home pretty much and play at the King Power.
Yeah, hoping, as we know, it's a double header weekend for home games. 2 home victories would be good. And still early in the season to look at the table, but you knew what your goals were at the start of this season. We spoke to you, I think, before the first game, wasn't it?
Yep.
In here, and a win would see you just in a really strong position. Obviously, Bristol City themselves are bottom of the table.
Yeah, they are. We know, however, how that feels from previous seasons, so we know how they're going to come out and fight. We just need to stay above all of that and make sure we let the football do the talking and play our game.
Yeah, it's an exciting one. Obviously, I don't know if you want to talk about your daughter at all, who plays in the academy here with Leicester. Was that one you wanted to keep secret, maybe? Or?
No. Well, I trained at Beaver Drive as well when I played, so I basically know the whole situation at the training ground, and just going back there just brings memories. Taking my daughter there every Saturday morning, watching her train, and just brings up memories from when I was there, down at Beaver Drive, and I'm sure it hasn't changed, the gym and stuff and the physios
no, not too much, no.
and change rooms all the same. I went down there a couple of weeks back to get all my daughter's kit and stuff like that. Not on the change, just all the photos on the walls, all the women down instead of the men. But other than that, no, it's obviously a great occasion for myself. I'm a daughter for being involved with Leicester City as well, and hopefully one day she can emulate and play for the women's team. Hopefully.
I'll keep an eye out.
Touch wood.
Yeah, be playing in the WSL as well. What's the mood like in the group? We know you had the winter break, of course, back into the swing of things now on a really good cup run.
Yeah, definitely coming back from a 6-2 win against Birmingham, you can imagine morale was high. It was a dominant performance, not our best performance, but nevertheless a dominant one, and you can imagine the vibes are good.
Yeah.
But we're fully aware how big and how important this game is. Willie Kirk, the manager, has put the pressure on us, saying this is a must-win game. We know that, and we are prepared to make sure we get the 3 points tomorrow.
How important is the crowd here at King Power Stadium? Because whenever you play here, the crowd is really good, isn't it? And it must help absolutely everybody.
Oh, definitely. We know how important the crowd is. As I said, from previous seasons, but every time we come home and we've got them behind us, it gives us that extra push. We've been at Burton for the last couple of weeks, and that is just a travel for the fans, so that's quite unfortunate. So we're glad we can be back home tomorrow and hopefully have all of them behind us again.
Yeah.
Just the FA Cup as well, quarter-finals coming up soon against Liverpool, my neck of the woods. Are you looking forward to that one as well?
Very much so, yeah. We've always got interesting games against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be rooting for us though.
Obviously, I'm an Everton fan, so
right,
I hope
against
you,
Liverpool,
I
then
hope
that's
you
good.
do, I hope you do smash them all to pieces.
Yeah, very much looking forward to that. That's been scheduled for, I think, the weekend of March 9th. So just after international, we've got a game in between that, but one we're looking forward to.
Yeah, was it a draw that you saw and thought, we know we can beat Liverpool?
It's a doable one.
Yeah.
There were oppositions in the draw that probably would have been harder. However, Liverpool's had a really, really good season. We're fully aware of that. So we need to be on top of our game to make sure we first of all perform and also advance.
It's not that far ahead in the league though. It's only 6 points in it, something like that, I think I've seen.
Yeah, not too far. But I think they've had a very solid season. They've been fairly consistent, which probably it's difficult to beat, difficult to disrupt. But I think the quality we have, we can go out and win against anyone really. It's just about that consistency.
Will the game be at Anfield or will it be at Prenton Park?
Yeah, not at Anfield quite yet, unfortunately.
Prenton Park, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's turn our attention back to the game today. Of course, tickets are available for the second of the double-header games tomorrow, LCFC women against Bristol City. You're here, though, to support the men today. You're even going onto the pitch at half-time as well.
Yes,
That's exciting as well. What are you expecting today against Middlesbrough?
I think it'll be a tough game, no matter what the table is saying. I think Middlesbrough is a tough team to play. I think we all know the result from the previous game against them, but I think the manager will have prepped the team to make sure they perform and get the home win.
Hopefully so. Matt Elliott is on co-commentary duty for us this afternoon. Hello, Matt. How are you? Are you looking forward to this one?
I am, Batesy. Good afternoon, everyone. Always get excited with Leicester City at home because it's normally quite at one stage or another, it normally turns into something of a spectacle. Didn't it? Quite a few goals are scored. Okay, the first half's quite regularly, a little bit tame, but then the pace builds in the second half, doesn't it? And always interested to see, as the guys have been saying in the studio there, about how opposition teams are looking to set up and approach the game, and whichever way they go, Leicester more often not find an answer, don't they? And I think ultimately that will be the case again this afternoon.
Yeah, that'll be the aim, of course, Madam. We were speaking before with Jerry about obviously what happened in the reverse fixture. Sophie mentioned it there herself, that the lads won't want that to happen again this afternoon.
No, of course not. I know it was mentioned in the week against Sheffield Wednesday, was that an extra motivational tool? Possibly to a very small degree, but I think the boys are focused enough. You hear them speak about it regularly, don't you? And obviously the manager does. He instills that. He says that's part of his challenge to prevent them becoming complacent or sloppy in any way. So there's a huge importance on that side of it, approaching things in the right way. And I can't think of a time that Leicester haven't, to be honest. I mean, there's been a couple of below par performances, of course, but I don't think it's through sort of application and a mental approach. Certainly here at home, they're very patient, they're very methodical, and ultimately effective, aren't they? And I think Middlesbrough having a little bit of a rough time of late. I think they're sort of underachieving, aren't they? Certainly below expectations, with Carrick going in. Started off with a bit of a flurry, and then it's sort of dampened down a bit, hasn't it? I know that there's reasons why players have been sold, etc. But they seem like they're in almost a rebuild of a rebuild, almost, isn't it? A little bit, and I'm not sure they'll have the efficiency together to deal with Leicester this afternoon.
Just finally, Matt, one change from Enzo Maresca today. We've seen Patson Daka returning to the starting 11. Jamie Vardy on the bench. Vardy was so good in midweek.
Yeah, looked sharp, didn't he? Obviously got himself a goal and could have had one or two others. But it just makes sense, doesn't it? Just from a physical point of view. I don't, it's obviously not a reflection on Jamie's performance or input. It's just freshening it up, basically. Enzo Maresca's fortunate enough to have multiple choices, multiple options, isn't he? Cannon on the bench as well. He'll be champion at the bit to get another opportunity. So, I think whichever option he went for wasn't a surprise, really, because they're all sort of on an equal level at the moment, aren't they? But Daka, no one's going to complain about that too much. And can I just say one thing, basically, before we go? I know David Nugent does strange little things like going for a run early on a Saturday morning and stuff like that. Just wanted you to know I've been doing a bit of exercise myself. I had a game of darts last night.
Yeah, that's your sport now.
Well, the amount of darts that it takes me to finish, I end up walking fair distance, Ocky and back, to be fair.
But having a shave and having an haircut's hard time
that
for
was
you,
an effort.
mate.
I had to get someone else to do that, News.
Thank you very much, Matt. We'll hear from you again on commentary duty for us this afternoon. You look at the stats from a Middlesbrough point of view. They've not drawn in their last 9 away games. That's 4 wins, 5 defeats. What does that tell you about the way that they play?
It's very inconsistent, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, we're obviously not drawing. They either win or lose. But yeah, it's up and down. They've lost a lot of goals from last season. I think we mentioned it when they did the last game when we played them down there at the Riverside, and Chuba Akpom scored 30-odd goals. Cameron Archer scored 10+ goals. Jacob Ramsey on loan from Aston Villa, chipped in as well. So they've basically lost every single goal they scored in the previous season. So it's always going to be tough. But again, injuries. The whole midfield's missing today from previous. Hayden Hackney and Johnny House and Dale Fry's missing. Matt Crooks is missing. Obviously, Luke Thomas can't play against his parent club. So they've had to make a lot of changes, and not having a recognised striker on the pitch today can see the way Michael Carrick's going to set up in this game, trying to stay in the game as long as possible and try and nick one on the break. Is
it the sort of thing, maybe, Sophie, that can galvanise you as a group when you feel like everything's going against you in terms of injuries, like this from a Middlesbrough point of view? They might approach it and think, right, let's be in this together and get a result even for those lads that are injured.
I guess it can go either way, really. You can think it can't get much worse. Let's give it our all. We've got nothing to lose, really. Or it can destroy you if you're probably not mentally resilient as a group. So I think it's just a matter of character to make sure that turn that into a positive.
But they got that result against Leicester, so we know they've got the character in the dressing room.
Yeah, definitely got it. But it's just for the players that were coming in. It's a great opportunity to show Michael Carrick coming in to make an impression and try and stake a place in the team. The players missing. It's their chance to shine, and they can easily go out there and toss the game off and say, "Oh, well, you've not played me all season. Why should I play for you?" Or they can galvanise themselves and saying, "This is my chance to get a run in the team and try and prove to Michael Carrick that they're good enough to play in the team."
Right, speaking of goals, we've been talking a lot about them, haven't we? Do we know what's coming next? David Nugent, a goal against Middlesbrough here at King Power Stadium back in 2013. We had to get this one in here for you, didn't we?
In the final seconds of the first half against the bar. Knockout had also hit the bar in that first half. Wood. Nugent! Yes! David Nugent scores again! Leicester City take the lead. Middlesbrough's away day blues continue.
Well, I wonder whether David Nugent knew, but he was about to be replaced, wasn't he? It's a dilemma for Nigel Pearson. As the ball gets played in to Chris Wood, he just helps it inside, and Nugent, totally aware of where the goal is, helps it on its way, and that is absolute perfection.
Not bad news, not bad.
Yeah, I was saying as we were watching that it was snowing that night, and I had to park my car up about a mile and a half away and running. So that was my warm up, and hence why there was no crowd.
Yeah.
I think it was close to getting called off the game. I think the referee came and said obviously the surrounding areas weren't safe enough, but I think half the fans were in the stadium already, and we had to play the game in front of I think it was 12,000, usually 20,000 there, but there was hardly anyone there but to see the goal. But it was on Sky as well, so people stayed at home in the warm, watched it on telly.
Yeah, and a goal to your name as well. Not a bad little strike, was it? Good link up with Chris Wood.
No, quite decent, eh? The first time I've seen that.
Your first time, there's plenty more.
Who are you pointing to in the crowd?
Yeah, my missus.
Oh,
yeah, she's up there somewhere. But yeah, there's plenty more where he came from. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, it seems that annoyingly every time we have you on against someone, there's a goal that you scored.
Research, mate, research.
Of course.
I've got to tell you, you don't put it in, I've got to tell you.
Yeah. So that shows
Who you playing next week?
Right, let's get a quick recap of today's team news here at King Power Stadium for the game with one of your former sides, of course, Middlesbrough. It's Hermanson in goal, Justin, Vestergaard, Fast and Ricardo. Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Pratt in midfield with Mavididi and Fatawu in behind Patson. Daka, from a Middlesbrough point of view, they've made a number of changes, as we've already referenced. Injuries is a big issue for them, particularly in the striking department. They've got Glover, Engel, Clark, Vandenberg and Ayling. Barlaser and McNair in midfield with Azaz, O'Brien and McGree supporting Silvera up top. No Luke Thomas, of course, as News rightly mentioned, can't play against his parent club. Right, one of the names we mentioned from a Leicester City point of view there was Abdul Fatawu. He's been speaking to our commentator before the game, Guy Havard.
Well, Abdul, let's start with what happened on Tuesday night. Your first game here at the King Power. How did that feel for you?
I've been waiting for this, and yeah, I was so happy, and I feel so good, and yeah, I hope more to come.
Yeah, maybe more today, hopefully, from your point of view, but 9 assists as well, alongside the 3 goals that you've got home and away. How pleased have you been with the way that you've settled in a new country?
For me, it has been a good time for me, and with the team and people helping is all good, and I feel home already, as always I said, and yeah, I feel so good to be here.
What does the manager tell you before each game? What is your role in the team?
My role is it's just a team, and the coach, you have a role in the team, but mostly it's just about the whole team. So I think the the role is just to help the team to win.
There haven't been many teams who've beaten you this season, but Middlesbrough did at their ground earlier in the campaign. What did they do on that occasion, and what do you need to do today to make sure it doesn't happen again?
It's all about the game, and sometimes you lose and you win. And yeah, it was another game, and today's another game altogether. And we are going in to win, and we are ready for that.
We wish you luck.
Thank you.
That was Abdul Fatawu speaking to our commentator Guy Havard today. He's on commentary duty for us on Fox's Hub. It's a game, as ever, that is available for you on there in certain territories to watch the game. You can get your Game Pass available. Elsewhere, you can also listen to all of the action as well with a Listen Live monthly pass. To find out what is available to you, all you need to do is head on to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. We heard there from Abdul Fatawu on the score sheet in midweek. Sophie Howard, LCFC women defender, joins us ahead of their game, huge game tomorrow with Bristol City. How impressed have you been with Abdul Fatawu this season?
Very much so, especially I think the development from the start to now. I think I'd almost say that every player under Enzo, I've seen that development. As a defender, I typically watch more defenders. I'm probably defensive players, but but I have to say, very impressive, very entertaining player. Looks at the 1v1 constantly. As a fan watching, very exciting to watch.
Yeah, very exciting. You know, he's got the tricks. You know, to come inside on his left foot, go outside on his right foot, get the crosses into the box, and and chipping in with a few of the goals and assists as well. That's what you want from your wingers. Again, the build-up play. We start with Harry Winks into the midfielders out wide. Strikers get in the box, try and cause havoc, and especially MATCHDAY, Fatu, and wherever striker Enzo wants to pick is doing the business this season.
Just finally, before we hand over to the commentary team, we're probably expecting a lot of the ball again from a Leicester City point of view this afternoon. Those players that have just been mentioned, we'll see a lot of it, and patience is probably the key word for the players and supporters again.
Yeah, I think it's been the key word for every single game almost. The way Enzo wants the team to play, it's about patience, about keeping the ball, waiting for the right moments to penetrate, and then go and exploit and go and score.
Yeah, hopefully so. We've seen a lot of those goals this season. Hopefully we see more of them this afternoon. It is indeed no time to hand you over to your commentary team. Before that, though, you'll see a little explainer of what is available to you on Fox's Hub as Leicester City look to make it 6 wins in a row in all competitions.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Fox's Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Fox's Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Fox's Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.